After about 3 months of not being active on YouTube, I'm back again with another decent Blender tutorial. But this time it'll be a spooky one. Halloween is about to arrive, so I decided to create a spooky Halloween pumpkin for you. So let's open up Blender and get started. Okay, first of all, let's get rid of these default things here. Press A then X and delete all of them. Then press Shift A and let's bring a UV sphere and open up this panel. Then change the segments to 33 and come to edit mode by pressing tab. Then select the edge selection tool and now hold Alt and select this edge, all of those from here up to that point. Then leave 2 of them and then hold Shift Alt and select this one and this one. You should leave 2 of them and select the third one up to the end of the model, just like that. It's nothing crazy about that. It's so simple and you can do that really fast. And the moment that you select all of them, press O to enable the proportional editing and press 1 to go to front orthographic view and start to scaling them inside. Press S and scale them, but you see that the size of the proportional editing is so big. In that case, all the model is going to scale. We don't want that, so press S, then scroll your middle mouse button and control the size of the proportional editing and make it small, just about there, and start to scale that to somewhere maybe like that. I'm satisfied with that. Then leave these selected edges as they are selected and hold Ctrl B to bevel them and increase your middle mouse button just once to make it 3 edges, and we want to make it a little bit harder, the inside edges. So tab again to go to object mode. The shape is really good, so press tab again to go to edit mode and select these edges, the middle edges of the shape, and press 1 again to go to front orthographic view. Then press G and Z to just snap it to Z axis and increase the size of proportional editing and bring it lower, just like that. We're going to model the shape of the pumpkin, and we can just control that a little bit more to have a effect like that. I think that's going to be okay, but we can just increase that and make it a little bit further, just about there. And let's do the same thing for the bottom part selected and press 1, then press G then Z to snap it to Z axis and bring it higher, just about there. And I think that's really good and I'm satisfied with the shape. So select this edges here again and press 1, then hold Alt Z to enable the X-ray selection mode and press E to extrude that up to there, and we can rotate that, but you see that all of the shape is rotating because of the proportional editing is enabled. Let's disable that and start to rotate that a little bit, just like that. And you can hold Control and right click wherever we want to extrude that. Then we can scale it on the X-axis, or we can just scale it in all of the axes. It's dependent on you, whatever you like. And I'm gonna just do the same thing that we did for the previous edge, rotating it and a little bit scale it about there. I think that's okay. Yeah, it's going to be okay. And it's time to add the subdivision modifier. We can add it from the modifiers tab, just from there, or you can just go on with the hotkey. You can Control 2 and it will add the subdivision modifier with 2 segments. And you see that the shape is really good and I'm satisfied with that. You can right click and shade smooth. And now it's time for us to add the eyes and the mouse for that. But first of all, let's go to edit mode and let's add a supportive edge here, just like that, to make it a little bit harder. And also we can select these ones, but first select the face selection mode, select these faces and press I to inset them. In that case, it would be a little bit harder and good for us. And we can do the same thing for here. Let's try that if it's good or not. I think that's going to be answer. Yeah, it's great. And now it's time for us to apply the subdivision modifier. We can go with one segment as well. I think one is good itself. I don't want it to go high poly model. Then I'm gonna go on with one and hover your mouse on it and Control A to apply that. In that case, if you press tab to go to edit mode, you see that it's applied already. So press 1 again, and I'm gonna add a boolean modifier, and press Shift A to add a plane, and rotate that on the x-axis 90 degrees, and try to scale it down and bring it in front of the model. Press 1 to go to see it properly, and now press tab to go to edit mode and bring it to the right part and add a mirror modifier. In that case, it would be mirrored. Everything we do in the right part, it would mirror it to the left part as well. So select the vertex selection mode and try to create the shape of the eyes of the model. And for this one, I'm gonna add a triangle eye shape like that. And for that, we're gonna bevel that. Hold Control B and then V to bevel it, just like that. And I think 3 is good, and it will really do the work that we're going to do here. I don't want to go really with high poly models. I think that's going to be okay, and its size is good, or we can just increase the size just a little bit, and there we go. Then let's select one of these vertices here, and with Shift D, let's take a copy of this one and start to extrude that with E, or just you can hold Control and right click wherever you want. And select this one and make sure to enable the clip-in in the mirror modifier and bring it to the middle. In that case, it would be mirrored just like that. So I'm gonna try to create the spooky mouse for that. Let's try that to see whatever we want, and maybe something like that would be great. And the other one can go up to there, and there we go. You can control it, the segment, you can play with it until you're satisfied with the shape you want to create. There's nothing crazy with that, so let's control it. And because I'm doing it for video, I'm doing really a fast work to not waste your time. You can control the segments and take your time to make it really good and perfect. So when you're done, you can just press A to select everything and then F to fill them. And after that, we can just press E, then Y to extrude that on the Y axis. Then press tab again to go to object mode. Now this would be an object for us to use the boolean modifier to cut through the shape of the pumpkin. So select this one, and with this boolean modifier activated, you can select the eyedropper tool and select this object, and boom, it's applied already. And we can just apply it with Control A and select this, then get rid of this object, press X and delete that. And you see that we have this shape here, but it's not perfect. You can control it. Press tab again to go to edit mode, and first of all, with these ones selected, these inner faces, we can just select X and vertices to delete the vertices. But you see that this isn't enabled. I tried that, I don't know why, what is the reason that these weren't deleted and worked on these parts. We can just do them just by selecting them, the faces, and after you're done, we can just press X, then faces. In that case, we will have the shape that we're going to create. And do the same thing for this part as well. It's nothing crazy and hard about that, it's really easy. Then press X, then faces, and there we go. We have the pumpkin already, and I think that's going to be okay. But if you want to use it for a game, or it will be a game asset, this shape wouldn't be a perfect shape, because if you press 1 to go to vertex selection mode, you see that we have lots of problems and mistakes here. We have just extra faces, extra vertices. We can just remove them with Control X to dissolve these extra vertices here and there. If you want to, as I said, if you want to model it for a game asset, for a game object, you should take your time and fix these problems and mistakes here, and after you've done that, it would be ready for a game object. But if you just take this and use it for a game object, it would maybe cause you some problems and hardships for you to use it. But in the case of that, because we don't use it for a game asset, we don't use it for anything, we just want it for animation and modeling, it won't be a problem for us. But you can, as I said, you can just take your time and fix these objects here and there. I'm gonna do that for you, a little bit of them, and when you got the idea, I'm going to leave that just as it is, and you can do the rest of it yourself, because I don't want to take your time. And because of that, let's do some of them. So select this one, and you can just press X, then dissolve vertices, or you can just hold Control X. In that case, it will dissolve it automatically. So select this one again and do the same thing here. And we have just extra face here. You can just select this and then this. We can just press M, and at last it would snap it and merge them at the last selected object. And here I think we have 2 vertices maybe, and we can press M at center, then select this one and this one, M at last, and you see that we dissolved these ones and it's fixed, and it's really perfect now here. And you can do the same thing with the other ones. You see that we have really not used vertices here. We can just resolve them, or some of them we can merge them together, and in that case it would fix the problems that we have here and there. You see that this is not good. You see that here is sharp, this part, and we have to fix that. I'm gonna select this vertex and then this one, and press M at last, and in that case it will fix it a little bit. So I'm not going to do that anymore. You can just do it yourself. So let's come to add modifier, but before that I'm gonna go to edit mode and press A to select everything here, and after that let's go to the material properties and click on this plus button here and click on assign, and I'm gonna add a new material for that. Let's change the name to pumpkin. Then I assign this material for this part, and let's change the color to a orange color like that. So after you did that, come to modifiers tab again and add a solidify modifier, and try to just make it just like that. And you see it's not very good shape here. We can control the problem here. We can come to the data or object data properties, and on the normals part you can just select auto smooth, and in that case it will fix the problem for you. So I'm gonna come to the solidify modifier, and let's make it a little bit thicker, about there. And when you're satisfied with the shape, you can just select on this arrow and apply it, or the hotkeys Control A. So I applied that, and if you go to material preview, all of them are taken the material that we gave it, but I wanted to just assign the outer faces of the shape to this material, but in that case it didn't work for us. There's no problem. So select this one. Oops, we have a problem here. Let's come back. Why it is like that, I don't know. There was a mistake, I think, here. Let's come back with Control Z a little bit to find a mistake. Where was the mistake? I think when we were trying to, yeah, here I accidentally selected these loop cuts here and deleted them. I didn't know about that. So let's take the time, and I'm doing this same stuff really fast. It would be in a fast mode to come back to where that we were left. Okay, now we're back here, and I'm gonna take the base color of the material and select a orange color for that. And if you want to go along with me and choose the exact color, the hex code is E77537 for that. You can just select this color as you want. Okay, now I'm gonna select this part here on the top, press tab to go to edit mode, and select this vertex on the top and hold Ctrl+ to expand your selection up to maybe there, and click on this plus icon here, then assign it and click on new to add a new material. I'm gonna call it maybe wood or anything like, and I'm going to change the color to a green or brown color. I'm gonna choose green, and it should be a dark green like that. And maybe this part shouldn't be like that. Let's select with holding Alt Shift, select these edges, and when your selection is down, I'm going to select this edge as well, these faces. And now come to the pumpkin part and click on assign here. In that case, we have just this part, just like that. So the model is ready. We're going to go on the render properties, and we're going to go to render view. And now it's time to add the lights and work on the render properties. So come to the render properties and enable the ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen space reflections. And on the color management, come to the look and select it and change the none to high contrast. Where is it? It's here. And come to world properties and change the color to a really dark color, just about there. And now press Shift A and bring a point light. It would be in the middle of the shape because it's the center of the world. And on the light properties, you can just change the color. You can change the power to about 1000. It would be really high, and the color should be about like that. You see the effect is really cool, and I like the effect here. So the other thing that we should bring is two main lights. One of them is here, and the other one is this on the left part. Actually, the left part would be the support light, and after that we're going to add a rim light for our model. So press Shift A and add a point light and bring it to the right part of the shape, and press 7 to go to topographic view and bring it about there. And I'm gonna change it to 600. Then increase the radius a little bit to make the shadows a little bit softer, not that hard. And I'm going to grab this and move it all the way up a little bit, and maybe we can bring it to the front just a bit to make the 45 degrees with the model. So when you're done that, you can just come to color and change the color to a bluish color or something like that. Anything you like is going to be okay. I think this color is really good, and maybe we can bring it a little bit farther about there. And let's take a copy with this one with Shift D and bring it to the left part. And this time I'm going to increase the radius all the way up to about 1.31 and change the color to a maybe orange color. Where is it? Just like that, and make it a little bit farther, this one as well, and bring this to the backward just a bit, not so much. And I think that's okay for now. And let's add a rim light. Press Shift A and bring an area light. Bring it to the back of the model and rotate that 90 degrees, and actually minus 90 degrees, and to face the model. Then press 1 and start to scaling up this light and to fill all of the shape. And let's change the power to 2000, and you see the effect here on the edges of the shape. I exactly want this to happen. And the next thing we're gonna do is to add a atmosphere for our model and to add some fogs here and there. For that, I'm gonna press Shift A and bring a cube, then start to scale it up and make sure to have all the lights and model in itself. So come to the solve view for now and come to the object properties, and on the viewport display, let's change the display as texture to display as wire. In that case, we can see inside of it in the solid view. So come to render preview and come to the shading part and change it to render preview as well. And I'm gonna click on new here and just change it to volume. Then select the principled BSDF and press X to delete that. Press Shift A and search for volume BSDF. You can do the same thing with volume scatter or principled volume. Let's bring a principled volume and plug the volume to the volume. And this is really intense. We have to change the density and actually decrease it to about there, 0.01. And this is so simple, you can just go on with that. Let's check it from front view. I think that is really cool itself, but we can go on with another options to add a fog effect for that. For adding a fog effect, we can just press Shift A and bring a noise texture. And with this one selected and no triangular add-on, which I've explained it in previous videos, you can just come to Edit, Preferences and Add-ons, and you can enable that. With these ones enabled, you can Control and T. In that case, the mapping node and the texture coordinate node will open up to you. And let's change the generated to object. And after that, we can bring a color ramp to control it even more further. Let's search for it and plug the factor or color of the noise texture to the factor and plug the color of color ramp to the color of the shape. And you see that we're going to have a fog effect now. We can control the amount here, and also you can control the colors of your fog. I don't want it to be just that white, it should be a little bit grayish. And I'm going to control that, and even we can go on with the scale it down a little bit, just like that. And the modeling is done here. And the last thing that we can do is to come to the shading part and let's add a noise texture for the pumpkin and bring it here. Then with this one selected, again press Ctrl T and then object to the vector, the same thing that we did for the volume texture. Press Shift A and bring a color ramp, and now we can just plug the color factor of noise texture, and the color should be plugged to roughness, and it would take a little bit time to apply it. And you see that it's going to have these effects here and there. I wanted to add a realistic effect, but after trying this, I found that it would be so amazing that if we change these positions here and there a little bit, it would create a great shape here. It's looking like more anime stuff. It's looking like more anime stylish, and I really like animes. Because of that, I just leave that just like that because it's really cool, and I can just go on with this. We can bring this a little bit near to the object, and you see the effect. It's amazing. I'm really obsessed with that. Because of that, I just leaving this model just like that. You see the effects it's creating here and there. It's amazing. So come to Layout tab and the solid view, and I'm going to select this object and going to inside of it, and let's select all of them, and with holding control I'm gonna deselect these outer faces. I really couldn't find a better way to deselect these ones. If you have a better way in your mind, just inform me on the comments part. I want to apply another material to the inside of it, and because of that I had to do this process all the way for our model. And let's select them all really fast. Okay, it took long for me a little bit, and I used the circle selection tool. You can press C to select this. If you press left click, it would be selected, and if you hold the middle mouse button, it would deselect. And if you click on right click, it would cancel it. It's a powerful tool for selecting the object. And after that, after I selected the inner size of the model, come to material preview and click on this plus button here and click on new and assign. And I'm going to go to the material preview and press tab to go to object mode, and you see that I'm going to add it a white material. Without that it wouldn't be perfect, but with adding a white material it would add a white effect, and it would show the contrast a little bit more than before. And it's really perfect and great and a spooky effect on this pumpkin. And you can just control the colors, you can just control the lights and whatever you like. And if you want to use the same lights and same colors as I did, you can just select this hex code and apply that. It's 585BFF, and the other one that I used is, let's find that, it's FFCC94. So the modeling and tutorial is over here. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something, and have a great Halloween this year with lots of great memories and experiences with your family and friends. So happy Halloween, and see you on the next video.